Warning.
You are now tuned in to 7 Mile Radio. 7 Mile Radio.
Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the Making 'em Think podcast. We are so very happy to be back in the studio today with an awesome topic of the difference between growing up and being raised. And again, the name of this show is the Making 'em Think podcast. So that is our exact intent with today's topic of the difference between growing up and being raised. Guys, please welcome our co-host, Mrs. Connie Johnson. Good afternoon, Queen.
Hello. How's everybody doing?
How are you? And always a pleasure, Mr. Mark, Executive Director of
How are you doing, beautifuls? How are you doing, the two of you?
Thank you. We are doing really, really good. So very glad to be back,
Yes.
feeling better,
Yes.
energized, and pretty much ready to go.
Ready to go.
Ready
for
to
this-
go.
Ready
And
for this topic.
I'm trying to tell you. And the reason I wanted to have this topic is because, as we do always at the end of a show, we just sit and we continue to talk, and then things hit, and we're like, "That's a topic,
good topic."
isn't
Yeah.
it?" Yeah, you know. So that's what happened with how we actually came up with the title of the show. Just having open discussion at the end of the previous show, and deciding that this would be a great topic. And I was sitting here, sitting outside of the studio today, and then pondering, today's subject. I always, kind of think about it before, it's time to go live. And the main reason that I wanted to have the topic of discussion was basically discussing the difference between growing up and being raised, but the difficulty that I assume that most parents have today. Attempting to raise their children in this era of technology, and the easier it allows an access to these type of things, easier as not listening to parents, and being able to.
It just gives more access to what's going on in the world into the household.
That part.
I mean, without it being filtered by the parents.
Yeah.
Right? It's like
Yeah.
technology nowadays is allowing almost or inducing sneakiness, or for kids to go behind, or not even just kids, adults even for that matter, to go behind the backs of those who are in their lives, to have secret lives.
Yeah, that's true. And then, like I said, I always want our topics, of course, to be relevant to everyone.
Yeah.
But I really like to dig into our community. And I can only imagine the challenges in the Black community when it comes to the difference between growing up and being raised. And what I mean by, of course, all parents have those challenges. But when you have challenges in the Black community, and usually our challenges in the Black community come from lack of finance, so our children have these things, these devices, and looking at glamour or what they consider beauty, or what, and then the parents' lack of being able to provide that will cause the child to maybe use these devices or technologies to kind of get a little money on their own, or follow these things, or get in touch with these kind of people, and now they're meeting up, promising things, and things like that. So the challenges of actually attempting to raise a child in this day and age versus when we grew up, because even when we grew up without this technology, there was still a difference between growing up and being raised. And what I mean by that is, like, and again, I tell people this all the time, and of course loved my parents, no knock at all to my parents, but I grew up in the home with my parents. How about that? Because a lot of people will think that being raised is just simply a two-parent household with children, and dad goes to work, mom's there, the children are in the house. There is a great possibility to actually grow up in a household with your parents.
That's right. That's right.
It really is. And an example of that is a growing up household. I come home from school, drop my books. My parents just satisfied with the fact they saw me, ain't checked for homework. And I'm not saying my parents. I'm just giving you the difference between growing up and being raised. I came home from school. That's you, yeah. Drop my book bag. I'll be back. I'm right back out the door. You know what I'm saying? By the time I come back home, it's 7, 8. You see what I'm saying? And dinner done already been cooked. You missed it. You know, you played in the refrigerator. You know, that's a growing up to me.
Right.
That's a growing up thing. And comparing the growing up to the being raised against that is, I just came home from school. My mom, okay, where's your homework?
Yeah.
I don't have any. So what can you study? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Give me an hour of study. You know, I want those dishes clean before you leave out. Where are you going?
Yeah. And who are you going with?
Who are you going with?
Yeah.
When you get there, have her mom call me.
Yeah.
I mean, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's being raised. And then the thing about it, that's being raised with a little freedom, because I'm not stopping you from doing what you're doing, but you're going to do what you do in this aspect.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
You're
right.
going to do it this way. So there's a grave difference between growing up and being raised. And like I said, again, you can also be in the same household with your parents
That's
and
right.
still grow up.
That's right.
You know, and not be raised. And what are the effects of that?
Yeah, I think some of that is happening now in terms of just growing up, because I feel like for some parents now, they are just providing the laptops and the iPads to keep the children busy, so that the parent can do what they need to do. Now, I'm not. Sometimes it's just inevitable. You know, you got a single parent at the house, very busy. I just need to keep these kids a little busy until I can cook dinner or until I can clean up. And so then you push the iPad, the laptop in the kid's face, and that's all they're doing all day is in front of an iPad.
Yeah.
You know, when we were younger, and I had this conversation with my daughter, when we were younger, we didn't really have TV. You know, the only TV we had was Saturday morning cartoons. And if you missed, I think it kind of went off at noon. And if you missed the cartoons that Saturday, that was it. You didn't have cartoon until the next Saturday. And so we wanted to go outside. It was a
Besides
punishment.
After school, maybe.
Right,
After
right.
school cartoons.
And it didn't stay on long.
No, that was
you
maybe
know?
an hour.
That's it. That's it. And it was a punishment to have to stay in the house, because we always wanted to be out. Kids always wanted to be outside. You know, nowadays, some of these kids don't even want to go outside. They want to stay in the house on an iPad in front of the TV and things like that. So, you know, there is a difference, you know, in just growing up and being raised. But in this day and age, a number of kids are just growing up. They're just growing up.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, they are.
I will admit that some parents are making sure that they're still being respectful and responsible, but they're still just growing up. You know. So this technology nowadays. You know,
And you mentioned something last show, which was powerful to me. It really was, and it really, and then it even made me think. You know, because I will be the first to admit I raised my children in a strict form. I really did, which caused them to rebel. Don't get me wrong, it did. And and knowing things differently, I'm a little bit different with my grandchildren now than I am with, you know, my children. Than I was, with my children. With my children, it was more so. Well, I guess after my husband came along too, but it was a little easier after he came along. But raising them as single and then holding the jobs that pay well, that came with a high demand. This not no $8-9 hour job. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm really working jobs that have me gainfully employed. And it required that. A lot of those jobs are in leadership positions. So leadership positions usually come salaried. You know, and then your boss is calling, we need you.
That's right.
You know, you're on salary, but I mean, this is how this works. What? This is how that goes. You know what I'm saying? And that allowed them a lot of leeway. You know what I'm saying? And of course, the things that I taught them growing up in the house, because I'll tell you in a minute, they were raised. They were raised. Oh, baby, were they raised? A little bit too much. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by a little bit too much is what I am referring to when I said you blessed me and you said Tyrone told you. You didn't. You didn't allow me enough. Like you didn't let me raise. I mean, make my own. And then see, that's the thing. So you raised him almost too well. Look at that. You know what I'm saying? So even raising your children can be a negative. To a certain degree. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm sure the only reason you did what you did is because you were raising him.
And for those of you who weren't here last week, we had a conversation where my son said to me, Ma, you and my dad didn't allow me to fall enough. You guys were always there to
Being
catch
too
me.
sheltered, huh?
Well, we didn't shelter him,
Or
but
protect, maybe.
we
Because
protected
it's a thin
him.
line
Sheltered
between
with
shelter and
protection. Yeah,
And,
yeah.
and when we saw the dangers, we tried to be there to prevent him from going down that route.
And when you've experienced it.
Yeah. So in some cases, we should have let him experience that fall, but we were always there, to don't.
That's when we had the conversation about the bumpers in the
Yes.
bowling lane,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
it'll
exactly.
it'll make you a better bowler if you can teach yourself not to fall into the gut, as opposed to knowing that you always got them bumpers there,
Yeah.
and I'm never gonna fall in because I
Right.
got mommy and daddy there to
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then when those real life situations hit you in real life, mom and dad's not there.
Yeah.
Right. That's right. That's right.
You
and,
know.
and not only is mom and dad not there, mom and dad didn't equip me to handle
When
this
they're not
situation
there.
because they did it for me. And so that's where when he said that to me, I was like, wow. So it's a balancing act. I
It
wish
really
it
is.
was a
It
book.
really is. Yeah.
We're thinking we're doing him justice, and he's saying y'all need to let me fall.
Yeah.
Y'all should have let me
And
fall
a
and
little bit
this
more.
is a young man,
Yes.
telling you that. Like
Absolutely.
I make this observation on my own that I know that I should have experienced more. You should have allowed me to learn
Yeah.
more,
Yeah.
more life lessons as opposed to shielding me from those things.
And then that's the thing too about it too. How about this? It also reflects because averagely the person will say, "My boy, I'm gonna be a little tougher. Like
Yeah.
you're gonna get out there and you're
Yeah.
gonna learn." And for my
Right.
girl, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
so now this
yeah.
is
baby.
he your only child or oldest?
No. My daughter is the oldest, and it's funny because for them it was like different. My daughter, we just let her, because
Oh, wow.
she was just mature for her age, so we didn't really worry for her. I remember when she first went on her first trip, she had to take an airplane by herself. We didn't even worry about it because we knew
So it was more
what
so
she was doing.
a personal observation and a gauge of that child's ability to fend for himself at that age that made you.
Well, you know what? I don't know because I'm sure my son, had we allowed him
He
to
would've
be as
developed that same
independent,
trait.
exactly. But coming up as a black boy in the city, you want to hold on to
You
him.
was a little bit more, protecting,
Yeah,
overprotective.
I wouldn't say I was I am. Listen,
Listen, because if you would have been able to admit it back, you wouldn't have done it, right?
Yeah,
So that's why you
yeah.
said no, I wouldn't have. But then you had to think about it real quick.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, maybe I was.
Maybe I was.
Yeah.
overprotective, and that's exactly what he's saying.
Yeah.
I was protected too much. I wasn't allowed to get the scars that I needed
Yes.
to develop the strength that I needed to handle real world situations.
Yes. Even
But he's still
now,
well off now. I mean, he's
Yeah,
probably-
even now, I worry about. Now, listen, my son's been in the service, then drove tanks, then,
Keisha, what are doing, Keisha?
shooting these rocket launchers and all of this. Done all of that. Now he drives a semi, and I'm scared to death. It's my baby. It's my baby out there.
On the road.
Yes,
Will he be
that's a-
sleepy? Will he?
Right.
Yeah.
And he has to remind me, Ma, I've been in the service. I've done all of this, but that's just my
It's
baby.
just yeah. And wait a minute, and not to sidebar too much away from it, but it has brought this on topic. So do you guys agree that there's a difference between raising girls and boys when it comes to the relationship with mom?
Yeah, it should.
Yes.
It's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And likewise with dads and boys and girls,
Yeah.
it's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
That's the
and-
reason why they both need it, because it's a balance that you
between the two,
create.
yeah.
Yes,
And I was
absolutely.
I had this talk with Sinquest last night. She and I were talking, and I was telling her about the difference between how women, my boy,
Yeah,
my
yes.
baby, and with my girl,
Yes.
it's all right.
Yeah.
Now I'm watching you. Like you, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like it's the relationship that. And then for like Durrell and Sinquest, like
Yeah.
you would have not known that was not his child.
Yeah.
I mean, they were, oh my, but it was, and don't get me wrong, from birth, Sinquest started out as a daddy's girl, and when that didn't go the way it was supposed to go, Sinquest dealt with that.
Yeah.
I mean, my baby, and it had a lot of anger inside me towards him.
Yeah.
Because just because we didn't make it didn't
Right.
mean that you and the
That's
children
right.
did make
That's
it.
right.
You know, and she was a daddy girl, and so much so of a daddy's girl that she couldn't even sleep through the entire night without him. Like, we used to have to hurry up and engage.
Yeah.
Because about 12:31,
Yeah.
they're gonna be some little feet paddling,
Right.
but she wants to sleep on dad's chest. You know, she want. I mean, and there have been a million and one times that we had woke up in the morning and bucket neck, and she in the middle. Whoa, get up, put your
Yeah,
clothes- we didn't
she's
know,
coming
but
in, yeah.
it was the bond with her dad.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So when someone else stepped into the picture in that role and really fulfilled it, Sinquest. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
it was that manned bond that you get from that man in your life in
Yeah.
that daddy's role.
Right.
She got that back. You know, and it was what she always wanted. You know what I'm saying? So I guess the difference between growing up and being raised too also consists of relationships between the parents and their children and the
Right.
sex of the children, and
Yeah.
and is there even a way to fairly balance relationships between moms and son and moms and daughters, or
Yeah.
dads and sons and dads and daughters? Because the same way that people say women are hard on their daughter, men are hard on their sons.
Yeah.
You see what I'm
Extra
saying?
hard.
Extra hard on,
Yeah.
because you're not gonna be a punk.
That's right.
You're not gonna you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And then
Yep.
not so much encouraging him not to be a punk so he doesn't go that route, you know, or anything.
Yeah.
It's just you're not gonna be out here and be a punk for life's situations.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So of course that boy doesn't feel the same love dad gives the
Like,
girl.
I have to be careful, man. Like me having a 6-year-old son now, right? And him getting out of that stage where he cries about stuff,
And
right?
that's your light-skinned twin.
And have to.
If he was dark, it would have been a ride.
So, like, telling him, like, it's okay to cry, but you can't cry about everything, okay? Crying is not going to get you the answer to all of your problems. That's how I try to teach it to him, because that's like, with toddlers, with kids, that's like the solution. It's like, I'm going to cry so I can get what I want. Or anything that something is wrong or that I don't like, I'm going to cry about it. It's like, okay, cry, and I don't want to say you can't cry. Crying is weak. Crying is for girls. You
Yeah.
kinda, like, that's not the way. It's like, listen, crying is okay, but this is not something that you need to cry about.
Okay,
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
just going to say, because it's funny, I had a conversation with my daughter, a conversation that my grandchild, I'll say, because, I don't want to be too specific about this, but my grandchild is with their dad, and my daughter FaceTimes, and the way that dad is talking to my grandchild, we don't speak to them like that.
yeah.
And it was, put the motherfucking toy down.
Yeah.
You just picked, I just told you that, and her thing, and he began, damn it. So, okay, he began to well up, like, he was
Yeah.
finna, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
Right.
get talked to like
Yeah.
this, you know,
Yeah.
and so my daughter says, and I'm sorry, I went and got him.
Yeah.
I went and got him because no,
Yeah.
and when they got there, the argument became, you baby him too much.
Yeah.
He don't need to cry about wanting attention or
Yeah.
cry about. And her defense was, I'm not raising my son to not be emotional.
Yeah.
I want him to be as
right.
emotional
That's right.
as he wants to
Like,
be.
express your feelings. I'm not going to
Absolutely.
teach you to suppress how you feel.
Feel, yeah,
But
and
there's
see,
a
dad
place-
saw that as a weakness, though.
Yeah, see?
You
Yeah.
see, so how do you balance? How do you raise that child to be an emotional boy without being overly
it's
emotional?
a time and a place for everything, right? And that degree, that level of an expression of that emotion is not necessary in this moment. It's not time to this is not nothing to cry about right now.
Yeah.
And then number two, it's not going to solve your problem especially when you get older. Okay, crying is not going to give you the answer to everything that's wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stop crying
Yeah.
Okay.
about something like this.
Okay.
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 If you're hurt, somebody hurt your feelings, somebody see, you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to teach him instances like, okay, crying is not, that's not going to solve your problems at the end of the day.
But I've also recognized that kids, we can talk to them until we're blue in the face, but they're going to do what they see us do.
That is it.
Okay,
That
they
is
will
it.
absolutely
Right.
do. And I remember talking to my grandbabies, because they were screaming at each other, give me that, and I'm like,
And they were
guys,
just reflecting what he's seeing going on in the household.
Absolutely. And
My
I'm
son,
like, y'all
man.
need to, why are you screaming? And then I realized that when they irk our nerves and Gigi, and I'm like, what, Preston, what is it? That's just what he's doing.
reflecting the behavior.
That's what he's
Man,
doing.
my son, I just, when I just seen him, recently, he checked me on something, being 6 years old. Like, I reached in the potato chip bag, and I grabbed a handful of chips, like I always do. Now I eat them like I eat them, you know what I mean? Because I got a big hand, and I can... So he does the same thing. He grabs a handful of them. He got this little bitty hand, and he try to... I'm like, see, man, that's why you're making a mess. You can't eat them like that. He said, well, Daddy, I'm just doing it. I want to do it like you.
Yeah.
He said, I want to do it like you was doing it. I'm just doing it like... And I said, damn.
Yeah.
Okay, man, then I'm eating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are
We'll take at least
absolutely
just
doing
3
this.
at a
Yes,
time,
yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
Like,
You
I didn't
know.
even notice like little stuff. I mean, of course I know that they're little sponges, but it's just like something that, because I don't do stuff like, smoking around them and stuff like that. I don't do adult things
around,
but it's like something that little, like him looking at how I eat the chips and him just mimicking and copying that. And I'm like, no, man, you don't do that.
Yeah.
He straight up said, I want to do it like you. That's the way you did it.
Yeah. And then
And
the
I
thing
said,
about
oh.
it, that just goes to show you how a child can watch you and just automatically think that because you did it, it's okay.
That's the way
It's
it needs to
okay.
be
It's
done.
okay.
Yeah.
Because
That's the way you do
you
it.
did it.
Yeah.
So if
I
you,
agree.
and then especially if you did it in front of me,
Yeah.
it gotta be okay.
I
Okay,
agree.
Daddy, so you take a whole wad, huh? Oh, okay.
Okay.
This is the way you do
right.
it.
That's
Yeah,
how you
yeah.
do it. You know what I'm saying?
And we
Like,
as
I was
parents,
wondering why I wasn't getting a mouthful of chips, because I wasn't. So
yeah, I
Right,
wasn't doing
right.
it like you got it, Dad. And then now he doing this and it's spilled. You like, that's why he like, no, it can't be why. This is why you do it. I
Yeah.
mean, you see what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
And then it confuses the child.
Right,
Because
right.
we are chastising our kids for the stuff that we are technically doing.
Teaching
Yeah.
them
Right.
What we're,
inadvertently.
absolutely.
And then the
absolutely.
thing about it, exactly. And then teaching them and unknowingly.
Yeah.
Like if I'm ever in a public gathering and someone says, do you want to lead the prayer? And I lead the prayer. The first thing as I say is, Father God, we approach your throne reverently and humbly, asking for the forgiveness of our sins, those that we've committed knowingly and unknowingly.
That's
There's
right.
so much stuff that we do unknowingly.
Right.
I
That's
didn't
right.
know.
That's
You
right.
see
That's
what I'm
right.
saying?
That's
And
right.
then
I'm thinking about something else his mom told me, because his mom is a potty mouth, right? So he was in school, and I guess the teacher called her and said, yeah, like he was cussing in class today. So she asked him right there. She said, Brain, was you cussing in class? He said, hell no.
I'm done. But
yeah,
again,
they
they're sponges. They
yeah.
are, and
Yeah.
again, especially if it comes from
Parents,
it
yeah.
has to be okay. And like you said, a child can only be what they see.
That's right.
And then when I tell people this too, a child can only be what they see, and if they grow up attempting not to be what they saw, and because some children can grow up and for some reason it just doesn't naturally the negativity doesn't naturally take to them, and they don't want to be that.
personality
That's
doesn't
right.
take
It
to
That's
doesn't.
That's right.
And so now that child is in a position of trying to grow up with the way they themselves think versus the environment that taught them differently.
Yeah.
You see,
Yeah.
we have
And
to
now they
be
grow
very
feeling awkward, like they're out of place.
and they
It's
can't
like,
find
can't
themselves.
talk to nobody
Exactly.
about it, yeah.
And I tell people that all the time. And
Socially awkward. Right.
That's it. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
And I tell people this all the time, and I believe that I've been around some people who may actually been offended. I can't enjoy my adult things, like you said, Mark, in front of children. I'm sorry. I can't.
Yeah.
And even so far now, it got to the point of almost drinking, because I would enjoy a glass of wine. You know,
Yeah.
the baby's front. I just
Yeah.
da-da-da-da-da. But, and the way that I feel about that is because, for one, it is adult activity.
Yeah.
I feel,
Yeah.
and I would hate to be the reason that a child became curious
Yes.
about what I'm doing as an adult. And this is my thing. This is what I tell people all the time. Even if that child looks at what I'm doing as something that you have to wait to get to be an adult to do, they're like, oh, they smoking.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
drinking. They
Yeah.
understand that it's adult activity.
Yeah.
But they don't understand, like, when they get older and they try that, like, your addiction to that may turn out different.
Right.
You see what
Absolutely.
I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
I know some children, even weed, smoked
And
weed at a very young age when moment, Mark. Smoked weed at a very young age from being around so many, and now addicted to weed like it's crack. Steal from people for it. You see what? But had he maybe been placed in a different environment while grown-ups were adulting, then maybe this young man at his age wouldn't even be thinking about this. And if he did see it from his peers, it may have even given him a different thought process about the time he engaged in it. You see what I'm saying?
And we can contrast, all I was going to say, we can contrast that across many different boards, right, where things shouldn't be, the curiosity shouldn't be induced in children about certain things. Period. Adult content. Period. I'll just say that.
Conversation, anything. Because if
you had to leave you had to leave the living room when
took
grown
it right
folks
out of
was
the
talking.
That's right.
And then the thing about it, I promise you, my grandmother had that so down packed, she didn't even have to say it. They say we all in here, and my grandma sitting right there. We're all adults now, and we talk da 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 da, and I come in, and I done sat down.
That's right. That's right.
Sorry, man. Sorry, Nana.
But you know that carries over into social media, a media period, because my daughter and I had a conversation, and she was saying, "Ma, I have to stop the kids from watching certain YouTube channels because all they do, the kids are playing with the adults." And so now my grandson, Gigi, come on, play with me. Gigi, come on. Gigi don't want to play with you. I'm not your playmate. Gigi will sit and play, a Uno game with you or something like that. But Gigi's not going to play with you all day. Okay.
Yeah.
And so
they
she
begin to see adults as playmates.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
Because this must be what adults are supposed to do.
Exactly. And then if I'm not doing what he sees on TV all the time, then Gigi don't love me. Now, I'm not saying this is his thinking, but he could come to feel like, well, they don't play with me.
What I see
on TV. And so she had to stop, even one channel where one little boy was just being obnoxious to his parents, and she was like, nope, you can't watch this. But they know what they can and cannot watch. So if Preston, which is the oldest one, if he turns on something on YouTube, then Paxton, which is the next one, didn't mommy tell you couldn't watch that? You're not supposed to be on that channel. And then when I sat and watched, and I'm like, no. You shouldn't be watching this, And so it's a lot that we have to, to tie back to growing up and being raised. We have to, if we're going to give these kids the iPads, and I'm a firm believer in the kids learn a lot from the iPads as long as you are monitoring what they're, my grandkids are trying to talk a second language. We'll sit and watch a video in a different language, and I'm like, what is he listening to? And we'll sit and
they don't
watch.
understand it.
And so in situations like that, the iPad is good. I can't teach him a second language. The schools may not be teaching a second language. Exactly.
It is.
You just have to monitor.
And then too, to capitalize on what you just said, explanation. And I've learned this too. I did this when my children were younger. I don't owe you an explanation about nothing. Because I said so.
That's right.
And that wasn't okay. Now that I'm older, that wasn't okay. And I want to understand why. That is it. That's right. That's right. And that's what I'm saying about your grandbaby. What we as parents would have to actually understand in reference to that matter is he looking at that video and feeling love? I mean, what does that do to him? Do you look at that and be like, oh, me, mommy, love him? I mean, oh my God. And do you flutter? Does your heart feel like you like, oh, I'm about to go play with my Gigi? And then when I get to Gigi
ain't finna play with you all day.
You're like, oh, what?
Yeah.
No, Gigi. I want to love you. If that, and then, so instead of just saying, not saying you don't, I'm just using, instead of just saying, no, I don't have time. Look, baby. Look, him and his parent, they do that for, how Gigi go to work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I explained to him that's not real.
And that's what I try to do with my son. That's what I was trying to explain earlier with the crying. I try to explain to him as much and as thoroughly as I can on his level. So he'll understand why and why not certain things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even when it comes to that YouTube stuff, it's a lot of stuff like, no, man, you can't watch that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And we do that so much so till Preston will say, "Is that real, Gigi? Is that real?" And we'll go, "No, that's not real. It's just for the cameras or, you know, or something like that." So we have to, you know, I like the you know, the YouTube and things like that, but we definitely have to monitor.
We do.
You know, what the kids are doing.
We do.
In terms of raising.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
raising our kids. And I also feel like, Keisha, that you could raise your child as well as the child is just growing up. You know, there are instances where you are providing the structure, the foundation, and things like that. But then on the other hand, it's like, all right, you can just go on. And let me give you an example of that. Mom raised all of us.
Right.
You know, Nene came along. She was the youngest one. She raised Nene, but Nene was able to do more of what we couldn't do.
Mom had learned a little leeway with her.
Yes, yes. And Mom had gotten a little older by
yes.
this time. And so she had us to kind of, what's she out there doing? But she had already laid the foundation where, you know, regardless if Nene had a 12 o'clock curfew, she's not doing, she was that child where I trust you to go out there and do whatever it is you're talking about. You told me you were going to do. That's what you're out there doing. And so she laid the foundation. Nene saw her sisters doing certain things and what you could and couldn't do. And, you know, and so that's how Nene was kind of, she was raised, but then she grew up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you can be in a
Yeah.
household where
Yeah.
you are being raised,
yeah.
but then you're growing up.
Yeah, at the same time. And then especially that comes along too, like you said, older siblings.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? Like, we took the bulk of it, especially that first one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
yeah.
And the parent is learning parenthood with
Yes.
you. Oh, so
Yes.
so you're going to be
You're
a
gonna
bit,
have a
I'm learning
combination of
parent
being raised
differently.
and growing up.
Yeah.
And then that second child comes along, and that second child gets like a little less from mom because the oldest then took it on.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
and
that's
usually
right.
it's that last one that comes along
Yeah.
and like, Mama said that to you?
Yeah.
Oh, I couldn't
Yeah.
imagine Mama
Well,
saying
that's
that
us
to
as
me, you know.
grandparents. Our kids be like, well, where were you?
Where was this
This,
parent when I was
right,
a parent?
this is a
When you
little
was my
different.
parent, why wasn't you like that with me?
Yes.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, because my children will say all the time, because they'll do certain things, and I'll say, don't do that.
Yeah.
You can't do that because
Of
this,
this.
and this.
Yeah.
Don't do.
You learn from being their parent. You
That
know,
was it.
Yeah.
You see
That's
what I'm
right.
saying?
That's
You
And
right.
then
see
the
what
other
I'm
half of
saying?
it is like, you know, you have that leniency when you have grandchildren, right? Because you feel like you've laid down the foundation with your kid to the point where you don't have to be that hard on the grandkids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the parent is going to instill the things that you instilled in them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we talked about our grandparents. And I will say to this day, I had the best grandfather ever. I had the TV granddad.
Was that the video? I don't know if you
Yes,
posted it
I
or
posted
Janine.
it. Yes, where I was talking about
And he
our
was looking
granddad.
at his daughter's
That-
dancing.
when
Oh,
I
he
tell
grabbed that
you,
broom.
Keisha, y'all, we loved it. Even to this day, we still talk fondly about him because he was that granddad.
Yeah.
And so when we were talking about it, my mom and I were talking about it, and it was like, I said, Mom, I don't know how grandmama and them did it, because every summer, all of the grandkids went to the grandparents' house and spent the summer there. Okay. And Mom was like, well, because your granddad, because y'all loved him so much because he played with y'all for a little while, then granddad was going to do his own thing. And so now we were stuck on grandma. Grandma had to comb our hair. She had to fix our clothes. So she wasn't as nice as granddad was because she got all these kids.
Yeah, she has the responsibility of the kids.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, you can have a two-parent household, but you still got that one parent who's going to take more responsibility than that other parent, whether that's the mom or the dad, you know. So, you know, I guess we just have to be careful in how we're raising, and we have to consciously watch what we're saying and what we're doing.
That's it.
And I'll never forget, you know, the conversation used to be, I don't need a man to help me raise my child. I don't need a man to do this. I will never forget. I taught my son how to tie his shoe. And so he couldn't tie his shoe right. I mean, he was doing it, but he wasn't doing it right. And I'm like, you know, I'm like, gosh, is my son going to be slow? He can't even tie his shoe. But it dawned on me that I taught him how to tie his shoe from a left-handed perspective. I'm left-handed.
Oh,
he's
okay.
right-handed.
Okay.
So I was teaching him how to tie his shoe as a left-handed person, and he couldn't get it. So when I had I think it was my daughter or my niece or somebody, show Ty how to tie his shoe. Picked it right on up.
Picked it right on up.
You know,
Yeah.
and so that has stuck with me in that you can teach a person something from your own perspective, and they may not get it, but if you give them to a like-minded person to help them through something, they'll pick it up
Or
quickly.
sometimes it's about stepping outside of your perspective.
Damn it,
Right.
you get on my damn nerves. Stop
Right.
saying what I'm
About to say.
Yeah.
and I'm
I
about
mean-
to say something that's in reference to that.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. That's why I don't get you. Go
and
ahead.
you know what? The same thing too. And this, I may lose a lot of parents here. I may, but I feel that when we become parents, a part of our lives we have to lay down to the side.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And a lot of people will be like, "Oh, you don't have to lose yourself," because I'm not saying lose yourself.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying become a totally different person. But what I am saying, if you want great results, and I don't want to, okay, when I say great, I'm just saying you want your child to be the best that they can be. That's what I
right.
mean.
Or better
That's
than
right.
you.
Better than,
Right.
I
yeah.
get what you're saying.
Right.
Go ahead.
If I became a parent before I became a parent, my house was the hangout house. You know, like we did everything. We
Yeah.
carried the baby. We did everything here. You know, and now that the baby is here, and I'm attempting to raise my child now. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know, we don't do all of that anymore.
Right.
You know, we
That's
don't
right.
that, and it's basically because I'm trying to create an environment that my child can feel this home, that my child can be open in, that my child can mentally correctly
Yeah.
develop in while they're younger. A child learns the most from birth to the age of 5. It's the most critical time of their learning develop. The brain just boo 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 boo
Right.
boo 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 boo.
Right.
You know, and so I had to make a sacrifice becoming a parent, you know, and you lose some friends. Yeah, you do, you know, because I'm sorry.
But those weren't friends though.
No, I get you.
because if they can't recognize that you're trying to offer your child something better, then that wasn't your friend.
yeah.
If they can't see that and
Yeah.
accept that,
Yeah.
that wasn't just that.
Yeah.
That was just somebody that was an
Opportunist
opportunist.
that was there for
Mark,
what
would
they
you
can
stop?
lead to.
Yeah. Yeah, don't need to do it every time. You know, you need a mind.
That was
reading
right,
pose
right,
there.
right.
I'm having a crystal
Get
ball
out my
on the
head. Get
table.
out my
You're
head.
about
Yeah,
to
that's
say.
an opportunist, and some people, and that's how the cycle sometimes repeats itself. It's because parents don't want to step outside of themselves
Yeah.
sometimes for the betterment of their child.
yeah.
So they continue to do what they've always. This just me. This is just
This
what
it.
I'm gonna do. And so I want to take that back to why I saw. When I talk about Section 8 and how I see the grandmother, the mother, and the daughter all on the program, it's just that cycle. That they're continuing to do what they saw.
What they've
If
seen.
you want your children, that's what I was going to say earlier. If you wanted, when you were talking about, patterning yourself, your kids after you, if you want them to be better and bigger than you, why do you want them so badly to do things the exact same way that you
did, yeah.
Especially in the day and age where, in every passing time, technology, things grow, things change and evolve, right? So they can't be the same thing that you were, do the same thing that you were,
Yeah.
and evolve and thrive the same way. They have to be more. They have to be better. So I don't believe in trying to put the blueprint of what I was on my child.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Trying to make them be. You know what I mean? You have to do it this way. Do like the whole world is different than what it
Yeah.
was when I came
Yeah.
up. So
Yeah.
I agree.
Exactly.
you
I agree.
you have to be the me of your day and
Yeah.
age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what you have to do is to open the door to tons of opportunities for your children, and then let them decide what it is they are drawn to. And then when you find out what they are drawn
You
to,
help
then you
cultivate that.
You cultivate
absolutely,
that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
But
cultivate that.
we as parents expect, and I'm gonna go on the, some people might get, we as Black parents, we so often want to push our kids into sports and things like that when we all know that's a
Sports.
gamble.
How about
Yeah.
this? My granddad went to the military.
Yes.
My dad went to the military.
Yeah.
So what you think my dad wanted me to do?
Yeah. Go to the military.
Right.
Yeah.
Go to the military.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
just wasn't
just-
me. You
I'm
know what I mean?
sorry.
Yeah.
Especially me growing up in the whole, the day and age where we're becoming more, I don't like this word, but conscious, right? Black people
Yeah.
are becoming more aware
Yeah.
of our history and what
Yeah.
we went through and all of that stuff. And I'm thinking
Yeah.
in high school, I'm like, why am I going to join the military to fight for a country that will not give me the rights to live when I get back?
Back, yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
So that was like, I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But people was always, like, I was growing up hearing, jail ain't no place for a black man. You know what I mean? I developed the notion of feeling the same way about the military.
Army. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nowhere, no place for a black
It's
man.
not.
That's right.
It's not.
That's
You know what I
right.
mean?
not.
And now I have a dad that's,
Militant.
sergeant in the army. Yeah.
Yeah.
He went to the Gulf War. My granddad went to Nam.
Yeah.
So they
so
wanted.
did my dad.
I was supposed to be the next generation of that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I just wasn't feeling it.
Exactly.
And then you know what? The main reason that they did it, and it kind of goes back to the same kind of things when parents were back in the day. Remember the plants? When,
Oh, yeah.
When they,
Oh, yeah.
my granddaddy,
Yeah, my mom.
my
That was on my
granddaddy from
mom's
the
side. That was my
Oh,
mom.
the
The plant.
whole family.
Yes.
My mom
followed
was
the plant line.
Yes.
My mom's side was the plant, and my dad was the military.
Military.
Yeah.
And,
right?
and
Yeah.
then see the thing about it, Dad is saying to you, go into the military.
Yeah.
But what he's really saying to you is secure your life.
Yeah.
that's-
You see,
Yeah.
that's really
Yeah.
what he's saying.
Right.
Right.
But he's telling you to do it the way that he can guarantee from his results.
Yeah.
This is
And
what,
from his perspective.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. This
Yeah.
guarantees you life. This guarantees
And
you
I can't,
benefits.
and I
this
can't
guarantees
knock it, but
you.
I just,
It wasn't my thing.
I just wish I was understood a little bit more.
Yes.
You didn't
Yeah.
know, you didn't even try to get to know me and what it is that I wanted and what.
But we as kids didn't have a voice.
That's
Remember,
my
We
point.
didn't
That's
have
my
a
point.
voice.
That's my point.
Yeah.
It was
You know what I
what and you know what? That's where my son,
what
full
he
circle.
saying.
What he said.
Full
Yeah.
circle.
Yeah.
I didn't allow him to fall. Why?
Yeah.
Because
You didn't
him,
allow him
his
to have a
dad,
voice.
always wanted to be the voice. We always wanted to step in for. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. How about Revelation?
Yeah.
Look, you can tell it just
Yes,
came
girl,
to you
yes,
too. Yeah.
yes,
And
yes,
then
yes.
I'm about to lose a lot of parents, and Mark and Connie, I do believe that you, and again, in our community, it's horrible. And I'm
Yeah.
sorry. And if I step on toes, I hope I got on heavy boots. That's the most I'm going to say with this comment. Being raised, you can still be raised negatively.
Yes.
Now, and what I mean by that is, have you ever seen little boys, 4, 5 years old, got the daddy in their life? Daddy like, my little nigga gonna be.
Yeah.
Hey, hey,
Come on,
walk
come
your
on,
chest out, nigga.
on,
No,
come
and
on.
am I lying, y'all?
You're not lying.
You're not
Come
lying.
on.
Got
Am
the
I li-
pants half down,
What?
and
The parents will be the one
Yes.
to take the picture
Yes.
with the baby like this.
Yes.
Am I
Yes.
lying?
No, you're not lying at all.
And
That's
then the
not
thing
cute.
about it, that baby's being raised.
Raised. Yeah.
Yep.
Do you see
That's
what I'm
that's
saying?
no-
My little
that's
nigga
no
gonna
different.
be hard.
Yeah,
Am
yeah,
I lying?
yeah.
That's no different than the children in the community of the people who don't look like us being raised a certain way to look at us a certain way.
Yeah.
That's raised. That's
That's,
Yeah.
taught.
that's
That's
raised.
taught behavior.
Yeah.
That's not.
it
That's
is.
not. A kid is not born a blood or a crip or
Yeah.
a
That's
right.
racist
Yeah.
or ratchet ghetto. Like that is.
Yeah.
That is learned behavior
That
from
is
the
right.
environment
Yeah. That's right.
that you allow
Yeah.
for that kid to absorb.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so that's the thing. Also, the difference between growing up and being raised, just because you were raised doesn't mean you were raised in the right
Correctly.
way.
That's
That's
right.
what I mean.
That's right.
And then the thing about it, when you go back and you reflect on, especially for the young men too, because the generation that we live in too, and I tell my children now, like back in our days when we were coming up, like the crack and everything, the 80s epidemic that hit, that affected us and our parents. And what I mean by affected us is we became the kids who either sold that
Yeah.
or dealt with the failure of our parents using it.
Yep.
Either which way, both were a failure because
Yep.
we never should have been put in a position to actually have to push that.
That's right.
You see what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
And when we were coming up, we got into that, like being introduced to what crack did to our community.
Yeah.
So it forced us into that. So some of us was pump faking.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
some of us really got into that game and it turned us into who we are.
Yeah.
But these children nowadays, today, I told my daughter, they ain't pump faking. They were raised in
Yeah.
it. Spit out the womb
Yeah.
in it. I didn't even seen a brand new, and if I'm lying, I am flying. A brand new newborn baby boy in the picture, in the hospital still with the hat and the blanket. The daddy pulled the baby FU finger up and took the picture and said, "We ready for the world."
Let's see.
What mindset do you think that dad is finna get at baby. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
of course,
saying?
yeah.
Let me hear you say nigga. And I
Yeah.
know y'all done seen it. I done seen parents put blunts in their babies'
Yeah,
mouths.
yeah. And that's not cute.
You
And
see what I'm
You know,
saying?
and they get upset with you because you don't accept what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
This is my child, and that. But then when your child grow up and start beating on your tail, then you're wondering what's where this come
or
from.
your
or when
child
my
grows-
child grows up and has to deal with your child.
Your
they in the
child.
same
That's right.
classroom
That's
or
right.
Yeah.
something,
That's right.
Yeah.
Now it's my problem
Yeah.
because now I got your ignorant child influencing mine.
Yeah, yeah.
Or-
Right? Or affecting mine.
I was finna
That's
say,
right.
or your
Negatively.
child. Damn it, and Mans and Quest was talking about that too.
Yeah.
Now I have to deal with the fact that your rowdy little live child, but we were discussing the household kids come up in. Now, when children come up in households where it's always live, always conversations, all 9 times out of 10, 9 times out of 10, when those children go to school, those are the bullies.
Oh yeah.
Those are the,
Yeah,
those are the ones
absolutely.
that are always causing problems. Those
Yeah.
are
You
the
know
ones who
Because they're
always
reflecting the abuse that they see at home.
At
They're
home.
being bullied.
As-
They're
yeah.
being dogged out at
That's
home,
right.
and they feel like what that is the solution to the
to
problem.
it is.
problem,
Yeah.
yeah.
So now they're gonna reflect that. They're gonna regurgitate that behavior in the public.
That is it. That
Yeah.
is it. And then the thing about it now, depending on how your child affects my child,
Mm-hmm.
now I'm a counselor at home. No, baby, you listen to me.
Yeah.
Because
This
I
is
have to
what
be.
I,
Yeah.
because now and then don't let my child be fearful of
Yeah,
yours.
that's right.
You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And now I got to deal with the fact my child don't even want to go to school.
Yeah, that's right.
You see what I'm saying? And all a breakdown of how that child was raised, but
Yeah.
incorrectly.
Incorrectly.
You see what I'm
That's
saying?
right,
And
yeah.
now my child has been taught you're not mean to others. Of course, if somebody hits you, you hit
Hit
them
'em
back.
back.
But
Yeah.
you're not the first to hit them.
That's right.
You know what I'm
That's
saying? You
right.
don't talk about people.
Yeah.
You don't pick on people. You don't take children's things.
Yeah.
And then when they go to school and experience these things from
Yeah.
another kid, like, okay, I know you told me not to do it.
Yeah.
But what do I do when someone does it to me?
Yeah.
You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
And that's what I'm trying to teach the grandbabies. If somebody hits you, you hit them back, but you hit them back harder. And so Preston asked me one time, she was like, Gigi, he was like, but why do I have to hit them back harder? I said, because it teaches them that there is a consequence, and that if you hit them hard enough, they'll
They
think
won't hit you
twice about
again,
hitting you again.
Yeah.
So you gotta hit them
Yeah.
as hard as you can
Yeah.
to let them know I'm not about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
Yeah.
Okay, Gigi. Okay,
And then
Gigi.
the thing about that too is also teaching them too. You stand your ground.
That's right.
You stand your ground because
Yeah.
if you don't, that child gonna pick on you
And
till
keep-
y'all leave schools.
I had
Until
a
you
bully,
separate a
y'all.
school.
I had a bully in elementary school. This young boy, Marzell Sanders, if you're out there listening. When I tell you Marzell bullied me, I was a crossing guard. He came on my corner, bullying me, until one day I said to myself, if he bullies me today, we're just going to fight. We were in our English class. I was actually waiting on him to bully me because I was ready to
I'm
fight
just
it.
fed up.
Girl, he bullied me that one last time. And when I tell you I got him for the old and the new, oh my God, I whooped his behind and we were the best of friends.
How after that,
thereafter.
because that's what
yeah.
it takes.
Yeah.
It does.
And
It
if you
really
don't
does.
stand up, they'll continue to bully you.
Yeah, and
you
then
know?
see what we fail to realize when kids do bully, and like you said, Mark, that's letting them they letting out their aggression.
Yes.
I can't do it to the parents at
Right,
home where I'm
right.
getting it from.
Yeah.
So when I go to school, somebody finna catch
Well,
this.
wait a minute, Keisha. I'm gonna add to that because it's not just kids. If you deal with a coworker or with a boss who have control issues or some type of issues, they have no voice at home. So then they bring that to work and take it out on who they can control and who they can be ugly to.
Yeah.
So it's not just the kids.
Yeah, that's
you
true.
know,
That is
that
true.
it you know ties into the parents or the adults as well.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. And that is true. But then again, like you said, and that reflects down to the children. So imagine a woman in a household where she doesn't really have, you treat it like society treats women. You cook, you clean, you got a job, yeah. But when you back in this house,
Yeah.
you just the woman.
That's
And
right.
imagine a child watching. For one, a little boy, and you're raising him to treat women that
Women,
way.
Giving him the blueprint.
And
That's
then,
right,
yeah,
yeah.
and then the little girl girl, you're raising her that's okay.
That's okay.
That's
Yeah.
okay. And then when you get older and someone tries to tell her that isn't okay, that is such an insult to her.
Yeah, because that's all she's
and don't
seen.
talk. And then to her, don't talk about my parents.
Yeah,
You ain't said a word about
and you
the
know
parents.
what, Keisha, I read this the other day, and I don't know if it was on your Facebook page where it says we need to teach our little girls when they're younger, when the little boys are hitting on them, that he just likes you, that's why he's hitting on you. So when you get older and that man is beating on your tail, then now you believe in he loves you because he's beating on your tail. Because as a child, you were taught little Timmy is hitting you because little Timmy likes you.
And what we called them, love taps.
Yeah.
Didn't we
Yeah,
though?
sure did.
You see what I'm
Sure
saying?
did.
And then flip script on that. Little Timmy is taught that that's love. That's why
Right.
he hits her.
That's why he hits her. Yep. That's right.
When
And
you
who-
think
and,
about
and
that.
who's taught? Where did he learn it
that
from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
His household,
Yeah,
right?
right,
Where
yeah.
where that was the blueprint and the instruction that his father
Yeah.
showed him.
Oh, and I'm
Yeah.
about to take this one even further, and my queen's probably gonna lose me too. How about this? I have heard men say the reason they grew up as dogs when it came to women being raised in a single woman household where she was loose.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But she was
That's part of it.
promiscuous.
That's part of it. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
You
Yeah.
see
And
what I'm
that's-
saying?
That's
Yeah.
kind of no different than the conversation that I had with y'all before we got on the air, as far as being single, right? And not and being the side dude per se for so long, or being the confidant of the women who are in relationships, and being the one that they come to for shit for so long, to where it's like now it's like I really don't trust being in a relationship because I don't ever want to be that dude to where the first issue that we have in a relationship, now she goes to somebody else,
Yeah.
you know, for
And now
that
she
constant
Yeah.
fighting,
Yeah.
and now you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, building and establishing a bond with somebody
Yes.
else
Yeah.
off the
Yeah.
back of my
Yeah.
you know what I mean, if, you know, the situation
Yeah.
in my
Yeah.
relationship, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, and now you getting close to that person. No, that's kind
Yeah.
of where my
Yeah.
trust issues lie. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah, and that's the honest
And you're
to
giving
God
me the
truth.
blueprint on, you know, what I don't want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But you know what, Mark, and I heard you talking in the conversation that we had, and I think some of the problems, or one of the problems, is that men cheat, and I won't say a lot. Men, y'all know y'all do. So when you cheat, and then you get into a relationship where you are really into that relationship, now you are
those insecurities come out.
absolutely
Yeah.
because you've
So-
done it so much
Now,
that you
in-
can't trust this girl not to do it.
In the situation, now, right, you're right, and that's what I'm saying. And I do admit, like I said before, like that's a level of being damaged on my accord, right? But
Yeah.
now I want to say something like, does that count as me cheating? If I'm not in a relationship and she cheats with me, does that make that, like, is that me being the cheater then?
What do you mean?
Because she's in a relationship, right? And I'm the guy that she's talking to and getting close to, and now we established. Does that mean I'm the cheater, or is she the
well,
cheater?
are you saying that when she
I'm not
comes
in a
to you-
relationship.
no, you're not
But
in a-
she
but
is.
She is,
and
yeah.
she comes to you. But when she comes to you, are you guys just conversing, or
I mean,
you're
one
you're
thing
doing
leads to another sometimes.
So
Yeah.
who are you cheating on?
Nobody. That's
Oh,
what I'm
so
saying.
no,
Does that?
yeah,
Am
that's why I'm
I a
like,
cheater
why
or
no,
am I-
But you are responsible.
He's the enabler.
You're enabler. You are an enabler, because once you knew that this girl was in a relationship, you should have, because you're now doing
I'm about
what
to
you're
shock y'all.
saying that you didn't want her to do. You don't want the person you get into a relationship
To have a
then-
you.
Yeah, and it's like,
exactly.
yeah,
exactly.
yeah, you got that
Listen,
right.
so, but my listeners, so my husband has been passed away 5 years, right? Haven't been in a long term relationship period. So, I was at this bar, and me and this guy, y'all, let me say this, and I hope my mama's not listening, but we were vibing so tough that I could have had a one night stand with
With
this
him,
man.
okay.
Ma, don't be listening to that. But we were. We were vibing. And then we into the conversation. Then we started talking about relationships, and he said, "Yeah, my wife." I said, "Yo, who? My wife." I shut that down right then.
Yeah,
I said, "My
and
brother."
he meant wife currently. Like
Currently,
I have a
he
wife.
has a wife.
Oh, wow.
He felt like it's too
But
much.
see, even if I shut it down, right, I was thinking to myself, right, even if I, the chick's in a relationship. She come to me, confide in me, whatever. And it's like, yeah, my dude. Now, if I shut it down, right, that still doesn't stop her from finding somebody else.
Okay, then you let her
Right.
find somebody else.
But that still doesn't erase my trust issue as far as the possibility of that happening when
Because
I
you
get in a
just
relationship.
know that it has happened.
I know that
Right.
it happens.
Has
You know what I mean? And
happened.
I know how it happens.
Okay, I can get damn. We done veered this subject, but wait a minute, Mark. So, okay, how about this? Say you get with someone, and the relationship is fine. This was you guys don't have. You have the kind of relationship where you can talk to each other. Like you guys are open up enough to talk to each other. When you make her upset, she comes to you and she talks to you about that. She lets you know how that makes y'all have open dialogue about whatever the argument was about. You have proof that when there's something happening in y'all relationship that y'all resolve it.
Okay.
Would that make you feel better?
It would have to,
Like,
yeah, most definitely. I mean, but it would have to be a track record of that. That would have to be over time. It's not like the first time that it happened. It's like, okay, this is. It got to be like
it has
takes
to be the
time with
norm
me.
for you.
It has
Like
to
this
take- it has
is
to be-
what
that
we
has to be
do.
the pattern. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not just one time because you could just be gaming me up, and that's how we got over that one. That could just been you knowing what you saying.
This is another
I know
topic.
it
This
is,
another-
but wait, and I'm
because-
gonna
saying
say
what I
this,
want to
but
hear. You
because
could be
what
just
I
saying
don't-
what I want to hear. I could.
Because it's such a double standard with men, and I'm gonna say mostly with men, sometimes with women, because you are expecting something. You guys want to go out and be community dick, okay?
Yeah.
But then,
I don't
well,
know.
no,
No,
not
wait,
you.
she's just
I'm
introducing-
just saying.
Right.
But then the woman that you get with, she can't have a high number count in terms of her partners.
Right.
But
right.
why is it you can
That's one of the double
and
standards.
she can't?
I
So
don't
why?
really
do you
hold
think-
a woman to that whole. I'm not gonna ask you because like for me to ask you off the rip now in my mind I must think that you've been promiscuous off the rip. If I gotta ask you, then I
Yeah.
feel like you slept. Now if I feel like you slept with it, then probably 10 times out of 10 you have. So why do I want the confirmation of that? That's gonna spoil my impression of you.
But-
why would I even ask you that if I like you? I don't want to. That's not none of my. I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But
I don't want to know. Like ain't that Neo said the shit in the song. I don't want to know. Yeah. So.
Nah.
No, it was somebody else. Somebody, yeah.
Please don't let it show.
I just think sometimes
Yeah, don't let your
we
whole show.
we project on others what some of
Our
our
insecurities,
insecurities
yeah.
are.
I'm about
Yeah.
to take it in.
Most definitely, and that's what I said. You know what I mean? I don't. It's hard for me to trust. I'll say that because I've
Yeah.
seen too many.
But wait a minute, I got a positive out of what you're saying, and believe it or not, my husband was my go-to for the relationship I was in. Like,
Okay.
Daryl was my go-to,
Yeah.
and I promise y'all, Daryl and I did not have sex until this relationship, till a year before we got married. I promise y'all. I promise y'all. But he was my go-to when baby daddy messing up.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I couldn't use a female friend.
Yeah.
You know, because my female friend, my best friend, don't get me wrong, who went through it with me, and thank God for her.
See? And
But wait a
Go
minute.
ahead.
My female friend was it caused her to hate him because she and I are together more. You know,
Yeah.
Dana and I were together more.
Yeah.
And she wouldn't get involved. Dana, I think, got involved in one of our disputes maybe twice out of all the years that when Jerry and wow, we were together for a long time. So I didn't necessarily have to vent to her about it because we were best friends pretty much together all the time. We worked together. So when I found out something that he done probably did, she probably right there with me. We lived together, me and her, you know, worked together, lived together, everything. So what I went through with him, she had firsthand to it.
Yeah.
And her most thing to me was like when she saw him, she never got into it with him or,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
but for me, it was, I'd be so glad
Yeah.
when this ends or he straighten up.
Yeah.
You know, but her getting involved is when we face to face. Y'all not finna do this and get
Yeah.
out her face.
Yeah.
You know, that
Yeah.
type of thing.
Yeah.
But for the male friend I needed,
Mm-hmm.
tell me why.
Mm-hmm.
Why does he do this? What's wrong with me?
Yeah.
You know, you're a man. Like, can you tell me why y'all do what y'all do?
Yeah.
I promise you, on his grave, Daryl never downed their dad.
Mm-hmm.
He used to be like, when you get done, You'll be done. He said all women go through it.
Yeah.
You know, but when
Yeah.
you get done, you'll be done. He used to be like, we about to roll one night.
Yeah.
We about to drink. You want to sit at the bar and listen to some music. You
Yeah.
want to go up to the Ford in Wyoming. That used to be our spot. Watch a movie. I promise you.
Yeah.
He never stepped outside of his bounds of that friendship. And neither did he use my hurt as
Yeah.
a personal gain for him. He
Yeah.
never, ever did that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was different. He was my go-to. He was my confidant. You know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, unbeknownst to he and I, we're growing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But we see it as this my best friend.
Right.
Like this my friend. And
Yeah.
so
And I've been that. You know what I mean? Multiple times. It ain't about just like the side dude that you just cheating on your man with.
Yeah.
It's like I've been the good friend, the confidant, the good
Yeah.
advice, and all of that. Now
Yeah.
you gravitate to me, and it's like, okay, well, shit, I'm single and shit, and it's like, when then again, I don't want to like, and I'm not saying that it's not possible. It would just take time for me to develop the glue with a person that you know allowed me to get over that. It's just gonna take time.
Okay. And so are you saying, Mark, that it's going to take more time for you because this has happened on more than one occasion? Like you've dealt with several women.
Yeah.
Okay, because I can
Yeah.
see it
I
being
ain't
like
saying it's
Several
not-
women who's cheated.
Yeah, well, who
you.
has ended up cheating, yeah, or end up leaving them and like you know trying to start something with me, and I'm like, no, just
Yeah.
like I don't want to be that. I'm not gonna lose you the same way that I got you, type shit. I just feel like that would be the pattern. Like I be kind of like, you know, visionary with the shit. I kind of see down the road. I'm like, I don't know if you might be the type. You might be the type that got another one of these in you.
Yeah.
Down the road. I don't know.
he said another one of
And-
these.
yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, I mean-
Unless you guys, because it sounds to me like some of the, stop. Sometimes in a relationship, you can talk more freer to somebody else than
Yeah.
you can your partner.
Partner, yeah.
And that's
And
the
that's what-
problem.
and that's it, and that's it.
That's
right
what,
there.
and
And
see,
that
that's
is
what I
exactly
meant
it.
by if you found a relationship where you guys have that communication covered. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like you really
You know, I
talk
felt
to each
like
other.
I felt like I had that. I mean, I feel like I've had that before, but it's always something that comes along that diffuses that. Like, okay, now we got that, but now come to find out, I feel like you pattern our relationship off of your best friend and her man's relationship. Like, you want us to
something
be,
different as far
you want
as
us
that.
to be a
Yeah.
version of that, and it's like, nah, I'm not
Yeah.
him, and you ain't her, and
Yeah.
I'm
cut
not
this.
him.
I don't even want. Nah, go ahead with
So
all
how
of this.
do you find
I'm about
that
to ask,
one?
No, but wait a minute. I want to ask y'all this because and people, please don't judge me. Please don't judge me this go round. In my life, this go round, and I'm not saying that it's not possible. And I tell people all the time, if I run into another man like my husband, and let me make this clear because everyone always kind of like, you can, I'm not saying I'm looking for Daryl in a man. I'm not. What I'm saying is if I find a man who has those same, you my best friend, we can
Yeah.
talk, we can
Yeah.
kick it, I mean, everything that we go through, we settle it together. This us. Like really us. We don't even discuss outside
Yeah.
what goes on inside.
Yeah.
We don't. I mean, the universe really with me. You know, I said if I
Yeah.
find it again,
Yeah.
I'm a good person. Like
Yeah.
you really mess with me. But my thing is, okay, and I might lose some people here, but
been
being
losing people all
honest,
show.
I have.
Right.
I have. Being honest, I could see a guy not married. You can't be married.
Right.
But for what I want right now in my life, I don't, and maybe it is that I'm afraid. Someone told me that that's fear, but I don't want to get involved with a guy.
You don't.
No, exclusively. I'm sorry because of what I've seen. Not even for me because since Daryl passed, it's been 3.
Yeah.
You know, and
You sound like you feel the same way I feel. Just the women version.
And yeah, but what I'm saying is not dealing with it personally.
Yeah.
But see, like, I'm sorry, and maybe I'm wrong because even in the conscious, like you said, I don't like to say the word conscious. The conscious community, men are the same. I'm sorry because I'm thinking a conscious brother
Try to grand
would
rise in their way right
probably-
into your panties. huh?
Shut up, Mark. You don't say grand rising yourself, you know.
That's
But
what they do. Queen, beautiful queen.
and then don't get me wrong, the conscious brother, the experience that I had was not my experience.
Yeah.
It was a friend's experience.
Yeah.
But I kind of promoted her to go ahead because I'm just knowing you out here for your people like this. You
Yeah.
da-da-da-da-da. You go, that black queen you get, especially if you know she ain't on no bull mess.
Yeah.
Oh, you go. I'm like, you can't go wrong. He this.
Yeah.
He this. And he turned out to be, baby. But
See-
my thing is, well, wait a minute. My whole point is that I could see somebody who sees somebody, you know, but my whole thing, you can't be married. Like you can't have taken that vow.
Yeah.
But if you're in a relationship with
Yeah.
someone, like I said, a lot of people are probably shocked by this.
Yeah.
But I can. This go round, I would see somebody who sees somebody, but understand this. My see you is, I'm sorry, it's just on a sex basis.
Ooh.
I don't want a relationship with you. You know what? I'm sorry.
I
But I
got
want to
it.
be your friend. I want to kick it. I want to
You
be
don't
the
want all
person.
the obligations and the responsibilities.
I
being
don't.
there.
And I'm sorry. And then the thing about it, like,
feel you.
my sex drive is so far and in between.
Yeah.
Like, you take care of me real good in January.
Yeah.
To the point, like,
Okay.
and then, I'm sorry. And then
Listen.
I might not need to see you till end of February. I'm sorry, but my sex is just not. So my thing is, and this is the reason I said I could see somebody who I don't want to spend time with your dude. I don't want to spend time with him. I don't want
Yeah.
to talk on the phone with him. Like when we talk on the phone, like, okay, out of a 7-day week, he can say, "Hey, what up?" Monday. "Hey, what up? How you doing? How your day going? Da-da-da-da. What's that?" Da-da-da-da. We didn't have that full conversation. I ain't got to hear from your nigga again till Thursday. "Hey, what up? How
It's
you
time
doing?"
to shoot the
Da-da-da-da.
club up. That's
Da-da-da-da.
the time.
And then after that,
Yeah.
let's plan our little date, do our thing. See you, boo. I'm not trying to call
And I'm the
you.
total opposite. I am the total opposite.
yeah.
With an asterisk on it, because I want to be in a relationship.
Okay.
My sex drive, I hope you're not listening.
Uh-huh.
Is
Oh, is it?
okay?
Okay.
So I don't want to live together. Because I don't want those responsibilities
Yeah.
of cooking,
And I
and you know,
don't.
you know, I feel, you know,
I
feeling
don't.
obligated that I have to get up and cook, and I gotta wash
yeah.
your clothes, and I gotta do. I don't want to do that.
I don't either.
But I want to be in a relationship.
Do
so
you?
you can have your house, I have my house.
Yeah.
We stay the night with each other, and then when we're sick of each other, you go home,
Yeah.
or I go home, or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
But we are exclusive.
Okay.
So that's what I.
Okay.
Because I love the, you know, let's get together, let's just sit and talk. I
Yeah.
had a friend, we could talk for hours,
Mm.
and that I love that. You know, sometimes, well, not sometimes, in a relationship, you gotta stimulate me here
You
first.
do. Oh my goodness. Now
have
that
to
plays a
stimulate.
part
Yeah.
in him, though. You know,
Yeah.
like and I tell people all the time, I love language is communication.
Yeah.
Like for me not to be able to talk about it, for me not to be able to
Mm.
talk it out, for me,
Mm-hmm.
that'll make me cry.
Yeah.
I have to talk.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
can't
I
communicate.
have
We have
to-
nothing.
Well, if we
have
can't
no understanding.
communicate,
We have
Yeah.
no relationship.
woo!
And that was Kevin and I's biggest vice, is that he was not a talker, and I was a talker. First off, I'm an overthinker. That's number one. Very analytical. Number two. And so when we had issues, sometimes I would just write it down, my topics and subtopics, and we need to discuss this. And he would just sit there, and he would talk only to answer my questions. You know, so it wasn't an engaged type conversation.
Yeah.
It was just you were responding to the questions that I'm answering. So
But you're not engaged in this
right,
fully. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So because he was so of a non-talker, you know, he just didn't talk. He just, you know, we would have our conversations, but Johnson wasn't a talker.
Yeah.
He just
He just
and I'm
wasn't
just
a talk- yeah,
chatty
and me,
Cathy.
and I have
Girl,
to.
yes.
And it's almost like, and y'all thinking that I'm playing. I need communication so much so that if you have actually sparked my mental enough, I'm a juice box downstairs.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So
I'm
you're a
just
sapiosexual.
what?
Basically,
Yeah.
you know what that is, right?
Yeah, the one who's stimulated by
You're,
yeah.
you're attracted
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
intelligence.
Yeah.
I am. I
Yeah.
mean, oh, let
But
the
it is a turn
conversation
on.
for oh my,
It is
if
an
we
absolute
can
turn
kick
on.
it,
Yes.
Oh my
Yes.
goodness, you know.
Yeah.
And then I also needed to be where when we're talking, like what you just said, I need to feel you're engaged.
Yes.
I do need to feel, because I need to feel like we're actually communicating. We're opening. We're
That's
almost
right. Yeah.
to each
Yeah.
other. You see what I'm saying?
You're hanging
And-
on my every word, and I'm hanging on
my,
your. Oh yes, girl. Yeah,
baby.
ain't nothing like
and
it.
don't let a buzz be included.
Yeah.
I'm so, oh.
And see, you don't, and it's not about men think you just want to talk about sex. It's not
It's
sex.
not, oh, I just need to talk.
Man, we just need to talk.
I just
We
need to talk.
And it could be about
Anything. Yeah.
But a good intellectual conversation.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it is an absolute turn on.
Yeah. And then the thing about it too is what I just recently had to do, and I honestly don't know what I'm about to do now, because I'm not free with the pie. You know, I really gotta know you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, we gotta really know each other. I can't just, I done stopped dealing with Mark in today.
Yeah.
And next week I'm with old boy.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't.
Yeah.
It's just, ugh.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I gotta get to know you. And I'm not like Erica Badu said, I know I'm a lot of woman, but not enough to divide the pie. You know what I'm saying? I just, I don't know. I would just feel some type of way of, at 6 I had sex with you, and then 10 is another nigga over here.
Yeah.
You know, later
Yeah.
on. I can't do that.
Yeah.
And so for me, and then I'm also the type of person like this. If I haven't had it in a while,
Yeah.
I can't. I'm off.
Yeah.
You know, like, so if that like second month hit since I done
Yeah.
had some, but then I'm here, like everything bothers me. I'm discombobulated. I'm you know, trying to be as much.
frustrated.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! And anybody can catch it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
Yeah.
what's wrong? Nothing. Yes. Look, I said nothing. Now
Yeah.
don't keep. You know,
Right.
if I could have just got my release, I'd be good. But I recently, as of recently, just hell yesterday. How about that? The male friend that I had. It's the communication,
Yeah.
and I had to cut it.
Yeah.
And I'm not blaming him for not being a communicator. You know what I'm saying? I just need what I
Exactly.
need. And see,
Exactly.
that's what makes it easier in the departure.
Yeah.
You wasn't my dude. You
Yeah.
got somebody.
Yeah.
Do your thing over there. As far as me, I'm going to go ahead.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Versus us, like you said, attempted to be exclusive.
Yeah.
We talked, and like Mark said, if that talk and communicating thing was temporary. Now I'm in this with you
Yeah.
exclusively,
Yeah.
and now I gotta break up with, a literal breakup
Yeah.
with somebody.
Yeah.
No, dude, versus just, we did this, but you understood what it was when we went into it because I told you.
I don't
Yeah.
believe a relationship is like I was just caught all kind of flack about this recently. Right?
Yes,
like,
Janine.
I'm not gonna claim this relationship in public unless it's like 6 months, like old, mature. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I'm not gonna be kicking with you after the first month where we done smashed a couple times and we all in the lovey-dovey stages. Now I'm about to be posting pictures with you on Facebook.
Yeah.
After the first month, 2
Yeah,
months.
yeah.
That's sloppy.
It
And
is.
I just got caught
And that's
sloppy because I
rushed.
wouldn't do it, right? And it's just like, yeah, like that's sloppy. You don't want it. It's like, man, I feel like it's sloppy to do it.
To do it,
Because
yeah.
this
It
ain't
Yeah.
established
Yeah,
that much.
right,
Like no
yeah,
matter
right.
like
You're not-
I'm 40 years old. I know the fucking lovey-dovey stage when I see it.
Yeah.
And I'm not about to get caught up in that to the point where I look like a fool now
Mm-hmm.
because I project this out here and it's like I really don't know what the hell you doing, where
Yeah,
you doing it.
that's right.
This
That's
soon.
right.
This-
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's not to say that I'm projecting you to be anything, but it's like it's just in the back of my mind, I'm not solid on this.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
And then don't hold me at fault for that. I just want to be precautious.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it. I'm just
But
trying
here's
to
the
be
thing, though,
precautious.
Mark, y'all could be in a 2-year relationship, and you don't want to post pictures of her, not just because you don't want what you're private with.
You're
Yeah,
that,
who
and that's,
I
that's
am. Yeah.
another thing about it, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
this
I
is
don't
my
need my
personal,
relationship
my
to be
personal,
this
That's
at
right.
all,
That's
baby.
right. That's right.
At
And
all.
when people put the emphasis on it, I feel like it's some kind of other motive. You know what I mean? That the person is inserting with that.
Sometimes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
And like, are you just trying to be seen?
Yeah.
Do you just want people
Are
to
you
see
trying
you
to prove a point to somebody?
Yeah.
To
Hell, or
somebody
am
else?
I even being used as a scapegoat?
as a
Yeah.
pawn, right?
Yeah.
Like you got
Good
like
looking.
exactly type shit. Yeah. So I'm not about to.
You got a
yeah.
whole nother nigga
I'm gonna move how I feel according to move when I want to do it, not when somebody says, "Oh, well, you need to do it now, or
That's
you
right.
ain't a man."
That's
or
right.
something.
Yeah.
And then when I do that, I'm taking taking away from myself, and now I'm becoming you in the relationship. And then when something else happens that you don't agree with, or you don't feel like I
Now
should
you're
have
gonna pull
done,
that same card up.
Yeah.
That's
And
it.
try to
Yeah.
throw it on
That's
the table
it.
at me.
Yeah.
And it's
Oh
like,
no,
no.
I'm sorry. And
We
I'm
can
not
just
finna
end
be.
this shit
And then the thing about it, I would love to be someone's motivator. You know, the one who makes you feel like, oh, baby, as you get me going, you da 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 da.
Yeah.
It's because of you and da 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 da. I love that. But at the same time, I'm not finna be the type of person that
Loses myself to become
to
that
motivate
for you.
you.
Yes.
That is it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is it. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
do that because, and I used to do this with Daryl. Like Daryl had when he would get his hair cut, you know, and put his clothes on. You know, I'm thinking to myself like, damn. You know, this is how I'm really feeling about him.
Yeah.
And really thinking to myself, damn, if Bagel out here, another Sweetie might be like, damn. You know,
Yeah.
so what I would do is, for him, he'd already been hyped up
Yeah.
in the but no, don't wear them shoes, babe. Wear them.
Yeah.
Come out with the shoe. Oh my, you killing it. Come here. Let's just pop me right quick.
Yeah.
I'm, you see what I'm saying? So if he does go out and then women like you, nice. He's like, I know.
Because my woman done already told.
took care
So,
of that.
yeah.
When I say his biggest fan, I was, and for me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, Daryl used to have to like keep me in check about his barber. Like when he would come home and that line was off.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm telling Trick that he ain't do you don't do that. That
Yeah,
ain't, you know,
yeah,
or what.
yeah.
But it was how detailed he was and how I paid attention to the detail.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's nothing I missed about it. I was him.
Yeah.
He was me.
Yeah.
We were one. And I was telling people this too. I got so many kudos. And it wasn't on purpose.
Yeah.
That the speech I gave at his homegoing, and I told people when I got up there, I said, when you get married, that's your husband. That's your wife. But you know why that's your husband or your wife when you get married? Because society says so. That's a title. When you sign on that line, that means you're husband and wife.
Yeah.
So you give that title just basically from what society calls marriage.
Yeah.
That shell in that casket was my friend. It wasn't my husband.
Yeah.
What made him a husband is that's what they say you are when you get married. That's what made him my husband. But he was my friend.
Yeah.
That was it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what made the relationship what it was. We were friends.
You were friends.
And then
yeah.
the thing about it, we were friends long before that. He was my friend when I was going through
See, y'all established that bond. Like I said, you know, it take time to
Yeah.
establish the bond to where you are completely confident with that person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is your person. You can trust them in any
Yeah.
situation. Like in 2 months, 3 months, just because we lovey dovey. Like no, you already established that before y'all had even started the relationship.
That's it. That's it.
So
And
that's
then-
the reason why that bond. That's the reason why that was what it was.
That is
between
it. And
y'all.
you know what makes it easier when the hard times come is that the fact I know who this person is.
Yes.
Really.
Yes.
So I allow your bad times. I go
Well,
through
you
them
know-
with you.
You
see what I'm
You know what
saying?
kind of clothing this person puts on, no matter what weather comes
That's
about.
it.
You know what I mean, you
That's
know how
it.
you know how they respond to
That's
the weather.
it.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
it. And that's what makes it so very different. And that's what I feel as far as my experience with relationships
Yeah.
that causes that long term. And that because people will always tell me, and men don't understand. I can pretty much target the way a man will treat you or act or be if you ever gave them a chance. By stuff. When I tell men, as far as I know, and I'm basing this off of the time that we spent together, Daryl and I. We worked together.
Yeah.
Well, once we got downtown, we separated and he went to the engineering side, whatever. And of
yeah.
course, I'm in customer service.
Yeah.
But I could send Bay a coochie pic. You know, while we at work, I'm just being honest. Meaning, I'm gonna come over there right quick. Can you lock that elevator up right quick? While we, you know,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
or he'll send back a symbol that's a lock, or send back like the X thing. Like that. No, babe,
Yeah,
damn,
yeah.
you know. But spending so much time together and always being together. I remember one time he went to a bachelor party. One of the men who worked downtown was having a bachelor party, and the strippers there were naked, like they walked the floor naked, you know, or what have you. Daryl is at the, don't get me wrong, killing two birds with one stone. You think you slick. He at the bachelor party, snapping pictures of the girls, sending them to me. Like, babe, they is here butt naked. No, I ain't saying nothing. But look, the guy who was there walks up. I'm talking to him on the phone now. So the guy walks up and says, "Dog, that's the wife." He didn't even have to ask Daryl who it was.
Yeah.
He said, "Man, you at a bachelor party.
Yeah. See?
She at home. I mean,
Yeah.
you're going right back home. Hang up." The guy takes the phone and hangs up on me. But I get it because Daryl, you're at let the wifey be, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
And when I tell people that I think, as far as I know, and still till this day, no one has ever come out and said, I saw Daryl, I was in a relationship with Daryl.
Yeah.
When I tell men that I don't believe that Daryl cheated, and they say, oh, no, oh, I'm watching you.
Yeah.
And not so much so that you think that men don't cheat, for you to automatically disagree with the fact that he may or may have not means that you couldn't even fathom not.
That's right. That's right.
And I
Absolutely.
don't get me wrong, I won't say anything about, to the person, because I'm the type of person, I'll let a person talk, but I'll gather what I need to.
Yeah.
You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I might not
Well, what
say
it is
anything.
they projecting their, just like you can project their your insecurities on the person, they're projecting their failures.
Yeah.
Right, because you
Absolutely.
couldn't do it. You don't believe another
Another
man
person
can
could do it,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And then you'll turn around and say, "You a good girl, Keisha." Like, I would love to try. No, the hell
You won't.
wouldn't.
That's right. Because you can't fathom
You
the-
can't
the
even
thought of
fathom
being-
of a man not cheating at all.
in your mind, right, in that man's mind, he like, oh, you believe that he didn't cheat?
Yeah.
Well, let me get with
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
now I know that I can get over you
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
you too. Because
Yeah.
you one of them women that believe
That
that
he- yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
possibility that men don't cheat.
Yeah. And
So
then
that's-
see, when people be like, men are dogs,
Yeah.
and all men, I thank God that I can have an objective to that.
Yeah.
I
absolutely.
can. And don't get me wrong, the majority, we'll say the majority, it is what it is. The majority, yeah.
Yeah.
But I can honestly say that some men don't. And a perfect example, aside from my husband, my brother.
You know what? Even in the instance that I had not experienced what would be seen as the best perfect woman for me, I'm still not going to write the whole species of women off.
Right.
As to say that none of you all are good
Yeah.
enough
Right.
to
Yeah.
be kept.
Yeah.
Like that'd be, that because flip it around. I got to say the same thing about men now, and that includes myself.
Yeah.
So I'm never gonna throw, especially about black women, down that hole.
Oh my
Yeah.
And say
goodness.
that because I love y'all too much, and it's just like even with the flaws, I know like we have flaws as men. You know what I mean? We just have to understand that we got to work together with this,
Yeah.
and that's the
And then
compromise.
the thing about it,
Communicate.
us as women
That's
have
how
to
we love
realize
each
that
other. We
too,
have to
though.
love
You know,
each
and
other.
then I'm gonna flip the script off that. Even if you are involved with a man who may be a cheater, you see what I'm saying? I believe for that part of it to be, does he cheat with respect? You say, and what? Don't get me wrong. What I mean by is the only way that man is a cheater, and you know of it, is hearsay. You don't get me wrong. That
Yeah,
woman
yeah.
intuition,
Yeah.
though, you know when
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But a woman ain't never called my phone.
Right.
A woman ain't never came to our house. When we're out and about together, ain't nobody ever approached us.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, does he cheat the way he supposed to?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
if you just have to necessarily deal with the fact that you have somebody who may not be able to control himself.
Yeah.
Don't mean he loves you any less.
Yeah.
I haven't gained control over that part.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I can pop her. Oh, baby, I'm about to pop her right quick. I mean, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he all along praying his wife don't find out, praying
Yeah.
nothing comes back from this, because his intent isn't really to hurt you. He just can't control himself of that man's instinct.
It's like
Does that make sense?
it's almost like okay, I got $1 million at home, cash, and I walk up the street and I see $500,000 laying on the ground, and I have the opportunity to take it and have it for myself.
Even though I got
regardless
a
if I
million
got
at
a million
home
at
and
home,
don't even
Right.
really need the
right? I can take this
500,000.
500,000 and I can go spend it. I don't even have to bring a trace of it back home. This
I
could
can
be
spend it out here.
500,000 that I can just. You know what I mean? And it doesn't mean that I respect the $1 million that I got any less at home. This is just something more that I can have.
Yeah. Without
that's
even involving the $1 million.
Yeah, I ain't even.
Yeah.
I didn't have
am
to
I-
spend none of this million to get all of the benefits
Because I got
of
the
this
$1 million at home. The $1
500,000.
million's secure.
Yeah.
You know.
So am I hearing you guys justify cheating?
I'm not justifying it.
Or-
I'm giving you the reason, the thought process
No, and
behind
then
why it's
kind of
done.
low-key, I'm justifying it a little
and
bit.
in regard to,
I am a little.
well, I guess so. In regards to how some people may feel like I'm not. It's not a disrespect to my wife or my husband
That's
at home.
the
You know
$1 million.
This is just something that's available to
Oh,
me.
Connie, I'm about to break this down in your aspect.
And that's just what it is. That's just
Wait a
what it
minute.
is.
Connie,
I'm
I'm
just
about to
saying.
break this down in your aspect.
Okay.
Section 8 at home.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Everybody really want the Section 8.
Yeah.
You know, because the benefits and everything that comes with Section 8. We love Section
But
8.
I just hit the lottery for $2 million.
No. But over here, something I wouldn't even, well, I guess I would risk the Section 8 for it if the Section 8 finds out. But the ADC is offering this over here right quick.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping, but because you know this, if Section 8 find out, that cuts you off.
Right.
Because you weren't supposed to mess with that. You knew that. You knew
Yeah.
that you couldn't get them benefits. But what I'm saying is, Section 8
Yeah.
is okay. You
Yeah.
know, I'm good. I provide for Section 8. I follow the rules, regulations, and everything with Section 8 because I really want Section 8. I
Yeah.
love me and Section 8 have
I
been through
need
some. I
Section
need Section 8. And at the end of the day, I love Section 8.
Okay.
But over here, they done did the little welfare thing where you can get a Medicaid card and a bridge card without Section 8 finding out. So I'm going to grab that right
So
quick.
in this
but I don't want to
analogy-
risk Section 8.
And you guys' analogy, I'm hearing cheaters are just greedy opportunists.
Yeah.
Is what I'm hearing.
Yeah. Yes, they are. Yes, they
but
are.
then we forget about that person at home who is affected by the greedy opportunist. So I don't think, and I heard you guys say to cheat respectfully, but to cheat is just being so disrespectful.
There's no way
period.
to cheat
Yeah,
respectfully.
yeah.
It's
I hear what
okay.
you're saying. You know,
Okay.
as long as respectfully, no, you're being disrespectful because if you didn't think you could control your desires,
Yeah.
You
you
shouldn't have made
shouldn't
that
be in a
contract.
relationship.
Yeah. Yeah.
And whether you're married or whether you're in a committed relationship, if you don't think you can control yourself, whether it be a man or a woman, you shouldn't be in a relationship.
Now, how about this? I'm gonna take it back to you. And we just said that we were saying that people who cheat or whatever, what did you say? We're saying that they are
Greedy and opportunistic.
Greedy opportunists.
Got you. Now, for a person who cheats, if you give them that description, what do you expect from a person like that? No, and what I mean by
you're
greedy.
not gonna get the benefits. of
No,
what
no,
you,
but what I'm saying is, if this person is a greedy opportunist, if this person actually feels love, like you can give, Section 8 can give him love, the welfare system can't.
So you're saying, can you
but
change
what I'm
that
saying,
opportunity?
no, but listen to me. What did you say, Connie? I'm sorry. A greedy opportunist.
greedy
Now, I'm
opportunist.
finna describe that in a relationship aspect. A greedy opportunist. Now, I'm a greedy opportunist, and I've fallen in love with somebody. You see what I'm saying?
Are you in a
Never-
relationship already?
No.
Okay.
I've gotten into a relationship with this person, but don't get me wrong. I'm a greedy opportunist. Period.
Okay.
In everything I do, I'm a greedy opportunist. So I meet this person. We begin building, da 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 da. I love this person so much. You see what I'm saying? Now, this person has shown me that I can spend the rest of my life with them. So if I were to ask this person to marry me based on that, I'm still a greedy opportunist. What makes me a greedy opportunist in this situation is that I found a person that loves me. I love this person too. And me being such a greedy opportunist, I'm going to go ahead and lock this down for me. I need this. I love this person. I mean, and I'm not locking it down in a way of any deceit or anything. I just know that I found the person that I want to be with for the rest of my life. Now, I'm going to lock this down as a greedy opportunist. Understand this though. But me being a greedy opportunist doesn't mean that I love this person that I've locked down any less. But due to the fact that I'm a greedy opportunist, now the opportunist part that I gained from the person I love was marrying them. You know what I'm saying? Because I love them. But that greedy part that also describes me is what keeps me from being faithful to this person. What keeps me from, you know what I'm saying? So when you describe cheating as being disrespectful or by a greedy opportunity, it's exactly that. But the way that those people think, they don't think about it in the aspect of I shouldn't have got married. To them, they should have, because I'm a greedy opportunist. And the woman that I've loved and I met, I got her. You see what I'm saying? So she at home, she da. But this part over here, the opportunist, is where I come in and I done met this girl. So I'm telling her, I got a wife. You never call my phone after this time. You never da. You know, because in my mind, I'm not going to disrespect her. Ooh. You see, no, but I'm saying in my mind, it's the way I would think as a greedy opportunist. You see what I'm saying? But at the same time, I quote unquote respect her so much that
I want to allow her to know that I'm cheating.
That is it.
Let me say this, because we oftentimes use
and I'm
the
sorry,
word.
one moment, Connie. And guys, we're sorry. We know that it. The next topic gonna say we don't know.
Well, no, we just
Now, let me tell y'all something. She told me she was only doing a 1 hour show today. Then she gave me the deuces like 2 hours. Like we're gonna keep going. Keep it going.
Okay, we'll say the first hour was growing up and being raised, and now the second hour is okay. And I just wanted to say, someone named Tiffany Aaron. Are you familiar with?
No, she's one of your podcast sisters from the Detroit Stand Up podcast.
Oh, hey,
comes on
lady.
Fridays.
Hey, mama. And Tiffany says, I understand that wholeheartedly. And I don't know if she was talking about my comment or yours, but when I said something about a guy cheating and like being respectful, she said that. So I think she's referring to me, saying that she understands that wholeheartedly.
So then that leads us to now accept cheating. As long as it's respectful, I can accept it. I can't.
No, this is my thing, and I agree with what you're saying.
There's some people that feel like that they can stay if someone cheated on them as long as they didn't know. I've heard that in conversation.
Yeah.
No, and that's what we're saying the same thing as far as that. That's what I'm saying.
When I talked to you guys earlier about
Tiff
the
said
guy.
No. But go ahead.
About the guy who I was vibing with until I found out he was married.
Yeah.
I think if we had, and I'm not putting myself on a pedestal at all.
Yeah.
But I feel like if we had more of me, there will be less cheating.
That's true.
Because I said to him, I didn't know his wife. I said, I can't do my sister like that.
Yeah.
I can't do her like that.
Yeah.
Why? Because I don't want nobody doing me like that.
That is
you know?
it. That is
and
it.
so when we start to believe the cheat respectfully,
No.
come on, we
That's
cannot
like
do that.
you're erasing the lines of a relationship.
Right,
like, what is the relationship
right.
then?
And then I think we need to define, because we use the word love so loosely.
Yeah.
And so we need to define what's your definition of love.
What's going on, caller? Who's this and where you calling from?
It's Tiff.
What's going on, Tiff?
Hey,
So yeah, would you want to expound on what it is that you were replying
What
to
is it,
earlier in the
Tiff?
comments?
All right. So first, I understand what, and I don't know your name, but I understand what you were saying when you said that a man can cheat respectfully, and I think there's a difference between somebody who, and it still does not okay the cheating, but I think it makes it a little less offensive when he cheats and you don't get the phone calls, you don't get the chick popping up at your door, because if you don't know, you don't know.
And that's what I was leading to. Thank you. That's what okay, so she said what I didn't say.
Yeah.
You never know. You
If
never,
you don't.
ever know.
Yeah.
But were you about to say something else, Tiff?
I was about to say real quick. Now, personally, I have a lot of guy friends, and a lot of my guy friends have been in a lot of questionable situations where, and I got female friends who done cheated. And if you don't know, you don't know. However, I also have some who just didn't care. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh,
That's
okay,
the
well,
difference.
you found out, and now it's your problem. And they put up that bravado, that bullshit that bullshit mindset where now it's like, oh, okay, well, you found out, you either stay or leave or stay, or whatever. And to me, that's just it's more damaging because now you do know, and they don't care that you know.
Damn it, she took it right out of my mouth. I was finna say not so much that you even know, but his whole bravado, he don't care.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Versus someone who, and let's say someone slipped through the loophole, got drunk one night, came home, left his phone open. That's how you found out.
Yeah.
And his attitude is, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. And don't get me wrong. He's sorry because he got caught. We
Right.
know that
That's
is true.
right.
But at the same time, he's also sorry that you found out.
Yeah.
And now you're hurt.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? That's the difference between when I say cheat respectfully versus flat out cheating to the point he didn't actually pull it up with women in front of the house.
Yeah.
You at work and he had to run into the house right quick.
Yeah.
You didn't
Yeah.
even care enough not to. What is wrong with you? You see what I'm saying?
No.
Those
and you
kind I
meet a
feel
lot
no
of them
mercy
like
for.
that too. Yeah, you meet a lot of them like that too. But I know a lot of women who cheat respectfully. And that's just me keeping it a buck. Like I got some girlfriends who straight up cheat respectfully. Whatever it is that they feel like they're not getting at home, they go and they get it elsewhere. Whether it is the actual sex, whether it is the intimacy, whatever, the phone calls, those are cheating.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't have to be the sex that makes the cheating either. So
You're
it doesn't
absolutely
have to
right
be
about
the
that.
sex,
Yes.
it can be
Because
everything
cheating
else.
is emotional too.
Yes,
It is.
it is.
It is.
Yeah.
And I honestly would prefer if I just had to say that I had to accept a cheater in my life. Please cheat physically.
Exactly.
If a woman
Yeah.
connects with you emotionally,
Emotionally,
I've lost you.
Yep.
Because she
But
can
see, those are
feel
also
what
the
I no
ones who show up
longer.
at your door. So the ones who your man is emotionally cheating, those are the women who show up at your crib.
That
If
is
I'm
true.
emotionally attached to him, like if I go out and I'm not to put myself out too much, but if I go out and I'm having casual sex, and I don't feel anything for this person, I don't care what he do when he leaves.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now if I start to feel something for this person and we have a connection and a bond and blah blah blah, I'm popping up at your crib.
Yeah.
Yeah, how about that? Yeah. And no, but I understand her, and see, that's what I mean by the way that I want to date now. And I don't even call it dating. The way I want to be popped now. And I'm just being, you know what I'm saying?
I thank you for your honesty.
I don't
We need
want to
more.
go.
We need more honest people.
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
world.
It's like,
and you know what? If you're right, Mark, when you go into a relationship, if people were more honest in saying, "Hey, listen, I want us to be together. You are my one. It's us two. But every now and again, I'm gonna step out. Now I'm gonna make sure I protect
I
you.
wanna
I
knock
protect
somebody
me.
else off.
Exactly.
And
Right,
so,
Tiff.
What you say, Tiff?
She said, I want to
Every
knock
once in a
somebody
while,
else.
you wanna knock
every now and
somebody else
then.
off.
Again, I might knock
Yeah.
somebody else
An
off.
open
and so,
relationship,
open.
basically.
Not
Well,
that
not
open.
Because it's not as often.
Right. Yeah. It's
Right.
not. It's not. It's
Every
not.
now
it's
and
not.
again, I might.
I need a hall
If
pass.
the opportunity presents itself and
so
it's something
this
that's
hall
worth it, I
pass
need to do
sits
it.
somewhere in the house, visible.
Yeah.
And so that's your hall pass. When you feeling like you want to do something, you grab that hall pass.
Yeah.
And so you guys are under the understanding that, okay, I'm using my hall pass today and that's it. So if that's what floats your boat, then that's not cheating.
Yeah.
Because you guys have an understanding.
Yeah.
Okay, but if you tell me
We're
that
exclusive and
we're-
it's just only us.
absolutely.
No, that's what I'm saying.
what I
That's
can-
the thing.
Yeah.
And then it's the tripped out part about it. And like you said, kind of, you're like thanking me for being honest. Don't get me wrong. The guy that I choose to be my pop partner, whatever you want to call it, it's just him though.
Yeah.
You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying there? I'm not popping anybody else. I'm
Okay.
strictly just popping you.
Okay.
But this is what we have established.
Well, I'm gonna have
you
to
know.
find me a pop friend.
Friend, you
then.
know what and then the thing about it, you still have to get to know that person.
Yeah.
You still have to, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And my whole thing is, I don't want a chance, especially me wanting it the way that I want it.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, the guy who I'm gonna run into gonna be on some bull anyway.
Yeah.
And I don't mean like bull just like playing me or that.
Yeah.
You 9 times out of 10 got somebody, because I only need sex every blue moon.
But Keisha, there's no emotions for you.
No.
Wow.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Can
And
I
then
say something real quick? Just interject. The person, if it's somebody who you really just you take them down and through there every once in a while, I don't want to get to know you.
Right.
Like, that's not my
Got it.
objective.
Yeah.
My
Right.
objective
Yeah.
is not to
Right.
be your friend. I want to
Yeah.
call you when I want to
Come
do
on.
whatever.
That is it.
And then we can keep it pushing.
That's
Yeah.
it.
So,
That's it. And
for
see, the
me-
thing about it, and the same thing for me, Tiff, and see, the thing about it, what I do have to know about this person is just say, if he has kids,
Yeah.
you're a great dad. You have to have qualities about yourself, though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, to enter me? Oh, baby. You gotta, I'm letting you into the goddess box. So you honestly have to. You gotta be a stand-up person.
Yeah.
You have to be a worker. You got to be a hustler. You got to be. I mean, you take care of yourself. You're a provider. You're the things that I would want. And you have to possess those things, but at the end of the day, we cool. I chose you because I saw those things about you. You
But
see
you
what
know-
I'm saying?
Now,
You
see, for
cut-
me, I wouldn't care.
Okay.
The only thing that we would have to have is an understanding that you're clean and I don't have to take care of you.
Yeah.
I don't care about none of the rest of the stuff because
Yeah.
it's unimportant because I'm
Okay.
not trying to qualify you for my man. And
Okay.
now if I'm trying
Okay.
to qualify you for my man, that's different.
That's
now we got to
different.
talk about some things.
Okay.
But as long as you bathe, your house is clean,
Mm-hmm.
and you get a haircut every once in a while, so you're aesthetically appealing. Like
Yeah,
everything
yeah.
else, I don't want you to talk. Like you
Yeah.
talking is too much because now I'm creating ties to you, and I don't want to have no ties from somebody who I'm just sleeping with.
Yeah.
Now, if that man is something more, and I see more in him, then yes, by all means, we have to have conversations. We have to be able to. But as far as the guy who I'm popping, I don't care what kind of daddy you are, because I don't like you. I don't care what kind. No, I don't
You
care
don't
what
plan
kind
on
of
having kids.
We
with
need
her.
to.
No.
This is a carry up part too,
Yeah, it
because and
Y'all
I hear
have a
what
good
you
one,
guys.
too. I'm about to go back to watching.
You know what? And then you know what, Tiff? We said we gonna have to do a part 2
I've
about
got
this.
to
If you
do it.
open, baby, you can co-host it with us.
Yes, because
Hey, listen, whenever.
I got you.
Whenever.
I'm just at a
mean,
loss. My
You are-
mouth,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and because I love you,
Yeah.
and I respect you for being as honest as you are. So please don't take this.
No.
When you say, he has to have these qualities, he has to do this, he has to be a good dad, he has to be everything but a non-cheater, and that's where the guy that you're popping. So he has all of these qualities, but he's a cheater.
Yeah.
And that's okay with.
Yeah.
And again, I mean, for to you and everybody listening, I'm not passing judgment on anybody.
Yeah.
I like to know from other people's perspective.
Yeah.
The reasoning why you
Right?
feel that.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
And that doesn't, if that's what floats her boat, that's what floats
But
her
it's
boat.
interesting to hear the perspectives
Exactly.
of some,
And,
right?
and you know what? It stops us from that mentality that women are just these lovey-dovey,
One-dimensional.
Absolutely.
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 Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
And then the thing about it, I honest to you, don't get me wrong, I didn't get these views till after he passed.
Yeah.
My views were totally different.
Yeah.
Before he passed.
Yeah.
And when it got to the point of my urges kick in.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and I have already, like you said, I don't want the commitment.
Yeah.
I don't want the gotta wash his clothes or
Yeah.
like, and don't get me wrong, the house it just stay clean because I
Yeah.
live by myself.
Right.
But if I want to let a room be dirty,
Come on.
I'm gonna let that room be dirty.
dirty,
I'm so,
yeah.
I don't want the responsive. And don't get me wrong. And the only reason the guy that I'm with would benefit from me being the kind of person who likes to build people up, who like it's just that's because who I am.
Yeah.
It's not that I'm doing this for you.
Yeah.
It's just who I am.
yeah.
So you benefit from that as far as dealing with a person like me. You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what I meant by my love language is communication.
Yeah.
So
Mine is.
and I have to be able to talk.
Yeah.
And especially with the person I'm
Yeah.
like it's only because it's my love language, so
right.
I need it.
Yeah.
It's almost like in my veins I need it. And like I said, when I just told my friend and I was really upset with his answer. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And not to say anything about him because he's going through a lot too.
Yeah.
But when I said I think I'm going to fall back, for a minute, and allow you, and then basically what made me make that decision was communication.
Yeah.
I have to have it. I'm sorry. And then his response was, okay.
Okay.
I mean, okay. If that's okay. But I wanted me being the communicator.
Yeah.
What happened? Like, what made you make this decision? And then again, let's just talk about it. You see
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, even though we're just talking, I mean, just popping, we're still friends, though.
Yeah.
You see what I'm
Real-
saying? Like, I
real
have to
quick.
be able to rock with you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I got to be able to feel you. And the only thing I was saying, Tiff, about him having him, damn. Oh, I'm sorry. Damn. The
gotta-
only thing I
these
was
2
saying
hours go
about
fast.
don't at all.
Yeah.
Only thing I was saying about him having qualities, Tiff, is that me mentally, when I am being popped by him, that is a factor of my mindset when
What
we
gets you
popping.
going?
A girl, bye.
He can
Curlin
be anybody.
says she likes
Like,
to pop
and
too,
he can-
Keith.
he-
That's
Yeah,
careless.
like it's all we all in our
And
pop
I
tart
get it,
stage,
you're
and it's
right.
Don't it seem like that?
Yeah.
And I get it, but it just seems like if I want him to have qualities, then that means I'm trying to qualify him for something other than sex. I literally, and just to be perfectly frank, and then I'm gonna end everything I have to say on this. For me, literally, if this is all I'm doing with you, and it's this one piece, then I don't want anything else from you. So I'm going to walk in, I'm going to do what I do. I'm going to throw you a hug, a high five, a slap on the ass, and I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Like, there's no conversation that me and you can have. Now, the difference is if you and that person are friends, which I understand. If you and that person are friends, now that changes the dynamic of your relationship. But then you also have to kind of be expecting for those feelings to creep in. And
somebody's gonna
if I
develop
don't
some
want the
feelings.
feeling, exactly.
Yeah.
So you qualify him for something if he has to have qualities.
Okay.
I don't
That's
want
deep.
you to have
Yeah,
qualities.
that's
because
deep
I
And
don't
then,
wanna
Yeah.
know
no, but
what
wait
it
a
is
minute,
that
and
you
I'm going
do.
to tell y'all this. And again, I'm just being honest. I had an issue with my truck. And he reached out and said, I'm going to come when I get off work.
Yeah.
You know, Okay. Which work was later in the evening. And it started to rain. So, of course, it wasn't going to go down. He said, well, it's starting to rain. I'm not going to make it. Oh, that's fine. You know, whatever, blase split. But I expected, and maybe this is what Tiff is saying, and maybe this is what he was saying. I expected the very next day. Again, I'm a communicator.
Yeah.
I have to have it. And don't get me wrong, because it rained the day before doesn't mean that your availability when you got off would have been the same.
Right.
I
Yeah.
expected you to say
Yeah.
that next morning,
Yeah.
I'll be okay. I'll be over
be
when
over.
I get. I can't just not have anything.
Yeah.
What
So,
I
but
need
see,
to know if
but
I
in
need
that-
to be saying.
But in that instance, you were if you know that situation and you know that you had a schedule for whatever the situation was, you shouldn't have had expectations. You set yourself up for disappointment
problem.
when you
Yeah.
had when you
It's the
put
expectation.
set
Yeah.
expectations.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
expected
You
it wasn't
expected, yeah.
established.
No,
But
which
it's
was my point.
because somewhere in her, it's a relationship, but not a relationship to me. Because you have expectations of this person, that's a relationship. You know what I'm saying? You don't have expectations of somebody who you just you knocking off. Like I don't expect you to do anything but do that.
But do
one
me.
thing. And if you
That's
don't,
all I-
and,
how
and
about
that's
that?
it.
Okay.
Like, I don't want to be your friend. If we're friends, then the dynamic of our relationship changes, which means that at this point
You're already
it's a
past that stage of
situationship.
just
Exactly.
banging.
You're in a situationship. You're not in a relationship, but it ain't just knocking them off. This is a situationship. That's what you're in. And there are
yeah.
feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I get it. And so, you know what? And then a
Yeah.
revelation for everybody, because I needed that, Tiff. You see what I'm saying? And
No,
he
and I
said,
feel you.
And he said the same thing, because I expressed being,
Yeah.
and don't get me wrong, what I was really upset about
Yeah.
was I'm at home. I can't do nothing. I
Yeah.
can't move. I
Yeah.
need to make money. You know,
Yeah.
and unfortunately, the day that the truck was supposed to be fixed
Yeah.
was a money day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I don't know. Well, hold on. It might be, you know.
Yeah.
And when that didn't come to pass, and it was based off the lack of communication you gave me,
Yeah.
then I got upset.
Okay, then let me say why him in terms of why did you expect him to fix your truck as opposed to just calling anybody?
No. This is what happened. I made a post that I
Got
need
it.
the truck
Got
fixed.
Got it.
Everybody was this, and this, and this.
Okay.
His offer was to come.
Yeah.
You know, everyone else, take it here, take it there, do this and do that. But see,
Yeah.
at the time, the battery was dead in the truck and a flat tire.
Oh,
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I had run out of tolls with
Yeah.
my toll company,
Yeah.
you know, or what have you. So
Yeah.
I really need this. Or so many people are like, I'll come take you and, you know, da 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 da.
Yeah.
Help pull it. I don't give a damn how we get it there.
Yeah.
Just help me. His offer was to come.
Got it.
And okay, good. Look, and it's you. Oh, that really make it great.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I can get, and then don't get me wrong. Again, like I said, he's always been a person of his word.
Yeah.
If he says he's coming, Johnny on the spot. I don't even have
Yeah.
to worry about it.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Got
So
it.
when that didn't go, and what made me more emotional is that I need my truck.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't so much in association to him.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that you were the person who was finna resolve this matter for me.
Right.
And it just so happened it was you.
Yeah.
Now, anybody who, it could have been him, it could have been my brother.
Yeah.
And I called Rail, like, why you didn't call me and tell me you weren't
Yeah.
coming? I could have moved this way.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It wasn't so much that it was him. It's just the fact that it was him.
It was him.
You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying?
Got
So, but I get it. But then he said the same thing when because he and I had a couple of conversations before about communicating.
Yeah.
You know, and he had said, like, we said no feelings. You know, I said, this ain't feelings.
Yeah.
This is
It is.
anger
It's-
about
it's-
you not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? This is not okay. So put it like this: had you just agreed and it came to pass, and there would have been no energy.
Yeah.
But due to the fact that it didn't, and I'm in this bind, and I
So
waited,
regardless of who
it
that
would have
person
been,
was, you still would
I
have had
still
the
would have
same-
had that
Yeah.
if that person would have done exactly what he did.
Yeah,
it
got
still would have made me mad. Like somebody unfriended me behind this.
Wow.
You know, someone unfriended me on Facebook because they also said, I'm going to come and take you
Yeah.
to da 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 da. And then when I reached out to them, like, look, I need you on that truck hookup.
Yeah.
Oh, take it up to, no, that's
Yeah.
not what you said.
Right.
Oh my!
Yeah.
And so I expressed a couple of choice words to them. Next thing I know, I had noticed that I hadn't seen this person's
Yeah.
went on their page and said add friends.
Yeah.
So my
Yeah,
thing
nah,
was that little pop off. They didn't
Yeah.
appreciate that. Neither did he. He did
Yeah.
say that, but he associated with us
Yeah.
versus associated with the situation.
Yeah.
But Tiffany, I see what you're saying, and so maybe I can see how he would have associated that with like you and your feelings.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
or what have you, or what. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
And
Okay.
it's hard because when you so to me again, I think, and this is the reason why I don't want I want to sever everything that does not happen at that bedroom. I'm severing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the reason why is because there are no feelings. I'm never going to call you. We're not friends on Facebook. You're not the person I'm gonna reach out to if I'm in trouble. I could be
Okay.
sitting in front of your house in trouble, and I wouldn't call you because you're not the person that I would trust. When you add in those elements of friendship, it changes the dynamic of the relationship. So think about it like this: if you, and we talking about prostitution, so I'm just gonna throw this one out there. If you're talking about
We got
prostitution, right?
tips. Now we
So
at
y'all
the
gotta
end of
go.
the show now, baby. I know
Oh,
you don't
what
know,
is-
but
you know
but Keisha
I'ma
gonna let
save-
you talk.
I'ma save it
No,
for
look, I'm
myself.
like this because what her last comment was, I was finna wrap it up on that. That was
Yeah.
what I was gonna do.
Yeah, no, y'all listen. Y'all go ahead. I appreciate. I'll watch next week and whatever. But that part, y'all have a good one.
You too. Thank you,
Thank
Tiff.
you.
I appreciate you, lady. And I will tell you honestly, you didn't like me on some things, and I appreciate that. Sometimes you just need that other view. You know,
Would you say she made you think?
she did.
Oh,
She did. The whole
the name
point
of the
is,
show.
you know,
That's the
and
name of
making
the
them
show.
think, and she
Yeah.
made me think.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much again for tuning in to this Sunday's podcast, Making Them Think. Always a pleasure with my lovely co-host, Miss Connie Johnson.
I love being here.
Thank you. Mark, it is a pleasure.
It is my pleasure. It is my
Single
pleasure.
time.
You make me think every show, every week.
And that is my whole point. And guys, thank you again for tuning in to this Sunday's episode of the Making Them Think podcast, where our first half was the difference between growing up and being raised, and the second half of is
A hodgepodge.
just
topic.
hey, whatever. Getting
Let's just talk.
Yeah, no, look at-
Exactly.
We will see you guys next Sunday at 1 p.m. for the Making Them Think podcast, where we think outside the block. See you next Sunday. Oh.
Warning.
You are now tuned in to 7 Mile Radio. 7